Hello, YouTubers. Happy New Year's Eve. I'm just kind of going to do a quick video here to follow up, to stem off, if you will, from my previous video of yesterday. As confirmed, that rumor of the WWE that Brock Lesnar's return was going to happen did happen, and it happened in a big way. I'm sure most of you that do watch wrestling probably caught Monday Night Raw last night and definitely know that Brock Lesnar has been thrown in, literally, front in line to take on the United World Champion, what you want to call it. And it doesn't matter who comes the winner of Royal Rumble. So we could be seeing Brock Lesnar versus John Cena. We could be seeing Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton. Now, you did hear me right. I did say John Cena. Because if you did not watch Raw, you missed Stephanie's announcement, where she announced that John Cena will be taking on Randy Orton at the Royal Rumble for that title. And whoever comes out of that outcome immediately is going to be on a feud, and whenever is going to face Brock Lesnar for the title. Now, here's the question with Brock Lesnar. What are they doing? Because normally Brock Lesnar is kind of a one-and-done deal. He shows up, he does a match or so, and then he's gone for quite a while because he's one of those kind of, but he's what I'd call a special part-timer, where they only bring him on here and there. So the question is this a sign of Brock Lesnar returning and being around for a while, or is this just Brock Lesnar that's gonna show up, kind of excite the crowd a bit, lose to whoever has the title, and we're all just gonna move on? Personally, I'd like to see Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton rather than Cena, because right now I would rather vote for Cena than Orton to be the champion. And if Cena wouldn't beat Orton at Royal Rumble, then it's like I don't want Brock Lesnar to win. But if Orton retains, then I kind of want to see Brock Lesnar win, because then that would mean either Orton would have to go back from heel to babyface in some fashion, or, and here's my other idea, Brock Lesnar would have to be a babyface in a way, because I don't know, maybe I'm a little slow, but I've never really seen a heel character versus a heel character when it comes to the major storylines of WWE. Now, that was one of the three shocking things. I already kind of covered two of them, which was Stephanie McMahon's announcement of John Cena being in the Royal Rumble against Randy Orton. Triple H's was showing that Brock Lesnar is back. I don't need to say more. Brock Lesnar is the key word there. They did, throughout the Raw show, advertise it once again, Batista's return. As you guys know, he'll be returning to the WWE Monday Night Raw on January 20th of 2014. The only last thing I can say that was really had the most shock value, or the most attention, I should say, would be the Wyatt family situation. Now, last night's main event was the Wyatt family versus Daniel Bryan, and it was a gauntlet-styled match, which means Daniel Bryan had to take on all three, starting out with Daniel Bryan versus Luke Harper, then it was Eric Rowan, and if he got through both of those, he would get Bray Wyatt, like he instinctively wanted. Well, incidentally, he did that. He beat Luke Harper. He beat Eric Rowan, and he was tired, worn out from those two, and I personally didn't think he was going to be able to take on Bray Wyatt. But as expected, and this is what I thought would happen, is that even if he got through two of them, Bray Wyatt would somehow unleash the other two back on him and attack him, which is exactly what happened. It looked like we were going to have a one-on-one between Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt, and then before you know it, the Luke Harper and Eric Rowan just came in and started attacking him. And once again, Bray Wyatt kind of lost to disqualification, but no one really looks at the disqualification. Alright, got him a coffee. It's morning. I'm still not fully awake. Anywho, so I can see that this, and this is not the shocking factor. The shocking factor is what happens after the little bit of a mugging attack. Bray Wyatt does his little, like, kind of like free little speech kind of thing, and then he kind of comes up to Daniel Bryan, and he pulls Daniel Bryan kind of by his forehead / hair, and Daniel Bryan kind of just utters out under his breath at first, "You're right," and then he kind of repeats it, and then Bray Wyatt kind of demands him to say it again. And then Daniel Bryan starts talking, and he starts kind of saying, "You've always been right," And then he says, and I quote, "The machine, no matter how much these people chanted for me, every building I went to, every time they chanted yes, the machine would not let me win. You were right about the machine." And then blah blah blah. And then he started and they kind of beat him up. Bray Wyatt grabbed him, did the Sister Abigail. That was what his final technique move he calls. And then he had Luke Harper and Eric Rowan pick him up and kind of drag him out of the ring, and then they kind of carried him on their shoulders, and as if they were saving him, after his beating with them. And then Ryan proceeded to try and walk on his own power, just kind of like, I got it, guys. And he kept walking with them, like they were together. Now, what I skipped there is what Dan Bryan said before then. He said, "I'll join you." Now, if you haven't been keeping up between the Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan feud, Bray Wyatt, not too while back, wanted Daniel Bryan to join the Wyatts. So much that he would beat it out of him. And then finally, it looks like he's finally exactly done that. So, getting back to what I was saying. He walks up to the stage, and the crowd starts chanting no, like as if they don't want him to, follow them. He says, "Don't do it, don't do it." They don't want him to become part of the Wyatts. And he kind of looks onto the crowd, and it looks like he's gonna, fight it out and keep going and not join them. And they start chanting yes, yes, because he's turning away and possibly maybe he was just faking Bray out. Well, he takes one look at the crowd with the look was kind of interesting that Dan Bryan gave. It was a very rustic, very kind of like, "Thanks guys, but I'm sorry," kind of look, like, "I'm thankful for your chant, but I'm kind of sorry that I'm letting you down." Like his soul's been kind of cracked, Because Dan Bryan, he's always been the kind of kid that just he'll get beat up, but he'll get right back up. And he had that look like, I've had my final beating. I can't stand this. So he turned back around and continued to walk away with the Wyatt family. And then the Wyatt little little cut off with the goat mask kind of peers up, and it goes to commercial. So my thoughts is Daniel Bryan joining the Wyatts. It could be interesting. For one, I personally don't like it because I like Daniel Bryan's fighting style. Sorry about repeating myself there. I really like his style because he's always just kind of, overcome every barrier, every wall he's hit. He's just kept going, trucking and trucking and trucking. And it kind of makes me sad to see him kind of finally give in. I mean, I guess the old saying goes, if you can't beat them, join them. And well, that's what's happened. Now, there's no speculation quite yet to how long this will last, whether or not Daniel Bryan is really going to join them. That's going to probably start popping up probably prior to SmackDown or prior to the next Raw, more so. Now, that is pretty much all the shock value that came out of Raw. Not much was there. There's a couple of filler matches. Of course, they had a 10 Diva tag match, which was great. I still kind of wish WWE would play out the story with the Divas a little bit better, because really it seems like nowadays they use the Divas as filler. So, and that's what I felt like Raw was. Raw is anymore is you have too many filler matches, but then again, you don't want too many story matches either. But um, other than that, I think last night's Raw was really good, and hopefully we'll see what rumors lie for it. I know they did advertise that Raw's gonna go old school, and I was like, oh cool, we're gonna have the graphics of old Raw before I started watching, but there's one more last thing I want to mention that actually I just forgot that is a little bit awesome, and this is a certain superstar that is now retired from the WWE, but is still quite involved otherwise, is going to be returning to Raw. I think next week. Yeah, it's next week. To just be part of the whole segment of Raw goes old school, which will be consume the entire episode. And that is, and I'll leave you with this hint. Woo! If you're a WWE fan, then I'm pretty sure you'll have a good idea of who that is. If not, well, all I can tell you is he's the Nature Boy. That's all I can tell you. That's my two hints. If you can guess who it is, I'm pretty sure you'll know from those hints. But for those of you who don't know, ask your WWE friends. They'll tell you right off the bat who goes woo and goes by the Nature Boy. Or just Google it, and you'll figure it out. Anywho, that's all I have for you guys today. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you're brand new to this channel. And if you want to see something different in WWE, I am trying to search for some interesting news. There's not too much to be reported, but I'm getting around to it. So, again, thank you guys for watching. Have a safe New Year, please. I don't want to read in the news somebody got in a car accident due to drunk driving or whatever, but if you're going to party, party safe, and then always stay frosty, my folks.